Today, I want to take you on a journey through the story of one of the most complex, tragic, and fascinating characters in Naruto, Itachi Uchiha.
Each of us lives dependent and bound by our individual knowledge and our awareness. All that is what we call reality.
Now, on the surface, Itachi might seem like just another powerful shinobi, a genius from the Uchiha clan, feared and respected by many. But if we look deeper, his life becomes a mirror that reflects some of the hardest questions humans have always faced. Questions about duty, love, sacrifice, and the heavy cost of choices. Itachi was not like other children. From a very young age, his skills were unmatched. Teachers and warriors alike saw him as a prodigy. But along with his incredible talent came something much heavier. He was exposed to the cruelty of war while still a child. Imagine being so young and already forced to witness death, suffering, and destruction. Experiences like that don't just fade away. They shape a person's entire worldview. In psychology, there's even a term for it: hyper-responsibility. This is when a child feels the weight of the world on their shoulders far too early, developing the belief that it's their duty to prevent suffering and protect others. For Itachi, that sense of duty became the core of his identity. As he grew, this sense of responsibility was tested in the most brutal way possible. The Uchiha clan, his own family, his blood, began preparing for a coup against the Hidden Leaf village. And suddenly, Itachi found himself standing at a crossroads no one should ever face. On one side was his clan, the people who raised him, the family he loved. On the other side was the village he swore to protect, filled with countless innocent lives. And the question was simple, but unbearable. Which side do you save? Itachi made the choice to protect the village. He destroyed his entire clan in a single night, sparing only his younger brother Sasuke. In doing so, he became a traitor to his bloodline, a criminal in the eyes of many, but also, silently, the savior of the village. His philosophy could be summarized like this: sometimes, to preserve peace, you must make sacrifices that no one will ever forgive. But why did he spare Sasuke? This is where the story takes an even darker turn. Itachi did not just let Sasuke live. He turned himself into the target of Sasuke's hatred. He painted himself as the villain, the murderer, the monster. From a psychological perspective, this is a twisted but fascinating form of ambivalent attachment. Itachi's love for Sasuke was expressed through cruelty. He wanted his brother to grow, to become strong enough to one day kill him. This reflects something we see in real life too: traumatic attachment. It's when love and pain get tangled together. A person becomes the source of both protection and suffering, creating a bond that is unbreakable but deeply damaging.
Sasuke! お前は俺にとっての新たな光だ! 元来内派一族は万華鏡車輪眼のために友と殺し合い、永遠の動力を得るために親兄弟で殺し合い、そうして力を誇示し続けてきた汚れた一族なのだ。その一族の中に生まれ落ちた時からお前もこの血のられた運命に巻き込まれている。さあ来い弟よ。
If we look at Itachi's decision through the lens of philosophy, it strongly resembles utilitarianism, the idea that the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. Sacrifice a small group to prevent a much larger tragedy. And that's not just an anime concept. In the real world, people face versions of this dilemma every day. A doctor in an overwhelmed hospital deciding which patient to treat first. A soldier who throws themselves into danger to protect their comrades. A leader who makes an unpopular decision today to prevent chaos tomorrow. All of these situations raise the same painful question. Is it right to sacrifice a few lives, or even your own happiness, for the greater good? But here's the thing about these kinds of choices. They always come with a price. On the outside, Itachi seemed calm, collected, almost untouchable. But inside, he carried guilt, isolation, and the crushing weight of pretending to be the villain. In psychology, this can be described as the self-sacrifice syndrome. It's when a person devotes everything, their joy, their relationships, even their identity, to a mission. They look strong, but inside they're breaking. For Itachi, this meant living in darkness, unloved, misunderstood, and alone. And yet, he never wavered. Because to him, that sacrifice was the only way forward. The most powerful moment comes later, when Sasuke finally learns the truth. The hatred he carried for years collapses into grief and respect. The brother he thought was a monster was, in fact, the one who loved him most. And this is where the story of Itachi leaves us with lessons that stretch far beyond anime. Love doesn't always appear as kindness. Sometimes it hides in the harshest actions. Truth is rarely simple. Good and evil depend on where you're standing. Even in the darkest choices, light can exist if the intention is love. So who was Itachi Uchiha? A villain? A hero? A martyr? In truth, he was all of these and none of them. He was a tragic hero, someone who chose to become a monster in the eyes of the world, just so that the world could go on. His life reminds us that the hardest choices are never black and white. And sometimes the greatest heroes are the ones who will never be understood, never be celebrated, because their role is to carry the darkness so that others can live in the light.